Rebel Yell podcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We are here to honor our WPIAL Softball Player of the Week, and we do so thanks in part to our good friends at Edgar Snyder and Associates. They've been helping local people since 1982. EdgarSnyder.com if you need their help. This young lady here, um, doesn't need a whole lot of help. She appreciates good defense behind her, but she takes care of business a lot one-on-one against the batters. A lot of strikeouts. Sydney Sekely of South Park, now a senior, is our WPIL softball player of the week. Sydney, we appreciate you joining us. You're now a seasoned veteran of the Rebel Yell podcast. So it almost feels like you could ask the questions and I could answer, right?
I definitely think so.
Okay, well, all right. See, there's a comfort level you get to. It's almost borderline cockiness, but that not for you. But I mean, that's where we are now in this relationship. Sydney has had an outstanding career at South Park and has been a player of the week and has been kind enough to join us several times in her career, which is now winding down. Only about a month left before we start talking softball. Busy, right? I mean, when we talk to seniors, even when we talk to them during the fall season and during the winter sports season, they talk about how there's all kind of things going on athletically and not athletically, just school-related stuff or life-related stuff. Busy time with graduation coming up on the horizon. Then you start you move on to college, and we'll talk about that as well. But does it get kind of hectic at times? I'm sure you watch teammates go through it when they were seniors, and now that you're a senior, a lot going on, right?
Definitely. I'm just excited to move on to the next chapter, but trying to focus and get things done day by day with all the busy.
Do you get, I mean, I would assume it's an emotional time of year too, because as you mentioned, you're fired up, you're excited about the new chapter, but this chapter's been nice too. And you're going to be saying goodbye to a lot of classmates, teammates, and just friends in general.
Yeah, it's definitely a sad time, like coming to an end here, but just trying to like cherish every moment we get together and excited.
Yeah, that's smart. Because some of the folks you'll still keep in touch with is all of you guys scatter into some may be staying who are not seniors yet, but other seniors that you're friends with starting their collegiate life. So you'll keep in touch with them, and then you make a bunch of whole new friends. So it is an exciting time, but it's kind of hectic. Do you ever get to the point where it's tough to sort of focus on what you need to do softball wise?
Sometimes, but just definitely having those teammates there to help encourage you and just keep you in the right mindset, and even the coaches there to help you just to focus on what you can do.
Do you have a lot of, as far as the team is concerned, are there a lot of seniors on this Eagles team?
Yeah, we have 5 this year, so same as last year.
Yeah. And you talked before we got started about that special group last year, a very talented group that helped lead the Eagles to a second straight WPIAL Class 3A championship game. They moved on. Of course, there's always questions. There will be questions next year when you and your teammates are no longer part of the program. But you told me that a lot of underclassmen, especially a lot of freshmen, have kind of stepped up and helped you guys to what is now another successful season.
Yeah, definitely. Like we lost those players last year, very valuable, but we've had underclassmen step up this year to really like fill their spot and to keep us moving in the right direction.
The coaches obviously know what's coming up through the pipeline, what's going on with the middle school teams and, potential teammates or players in the program. Do you do that, or have you done that, or did you have any idea that, this talented group of freshmen were going to be able to come in and be as successful as they've been?
I knew that we were definitely going to have those options. I don't really like keep my eye on it as much as the coaches, but I did know that we were going to have a just as good of a chance this year with these freshmen coming up as we did last year.
Another question I asked you before we got started is the drive. You have been a big part of this program since day one when you walked in as a freshman. The Eagles reached the postseason, knocked off in the playoffs, the first round. I'm not going to say by who, but it's the same team that knocked you off in the championship as a sophomore and junior. That's the Mohawk Warriors. But back-to-back trips to the finals, back-to-back silver in the district. Has that driven you and your fellow seniors, knowing that, okay, this is it. There is no next year for us. Obviously you are one of the elite teams again in Class 3A, but has that been driving you really the entire off season?
Yeah, definitely. These past few months, just knowing this is our last chance and just knowing we have a good chance this year to make it back there and hopefully win again or win this year and not have the same outcome, just working as hard as we can to get back there.
You can't control, I say this to coaches all the time, you can't control what your section is, who is in your section that you play. And you guys have, to this point, taken care of business in Section 3. You built yourself a 2-game lead over McGuffey, having just beat the Highlanders this past week, and 3 games up on Keystone Oaks, another team that you beat this past week. So you're taking care of business in the section. I think maybe there's been some discussion about the Eagles' non-section schedule in years past. However, there does seem to be an effort made by the coaches, by the administrators, to sort of strengthen that non-section schedule. You guys had a game against Bentworth that was postponed. You beat a very good Thomas Jefferson team. You beat another 5A team in Chartiers Valley, and coming up, you have another good team in Baldwin in a non-section game before the season ends. How important, as a pitcher, how important do you think that is, not only for your teammates to be challenged, but for you to be challenged?
Yeah, just knowing that we can't pick our section games, so then when we decide these teams play non-section, just knowing we have to give the best chance and best opportunity to let our players get this work, let some balls be put in play, see these good pitchers. We have some good pitchers coming up.
Yeah.
Just knowing that even our whole team can do this.
Sydney Sekely, senior of South Park, a lot of S's in there, is kind enough to join us. She is our WPIAL Player of the Week. We'll talk about her week in a moment. Continuing on about this season, has there been anything that has stood out? You mentioned the freshmen coming in and playing a big part in your success, but was there a game or a moment in a game early on where you sat back and thought to yourself, I think we're going to be pretty darn good again this year?
Just being able, I know you mentioned TJ earlier, that game every year, we always play them early, just knowing that we can compete with a team like TJ,
right.
Just using that momentum to get us through the section and get us to where we want to be.
Yeah, that was no doubt a big win early on, and you guys have carried the momentum from that early season victory. 11-0 on the season, 8-0 in section play with a couple section games remaining. I think you're 1 victory away in the section from clinching a section championship. You have McGuffey again coming up. You beat them 1-0 this past week. Do you feel that this team right now is clicking? I don't want you to. We were sort of. I was teasing you earlier off before we started about how does this team rate. I don't want you to do that, but do you feel this team is gelling and coming together and continuing to grow and getting stronger now that we're about to say goodbye to April and say hello to May?
I would definitely say this team has worked together very well. Just knowing we have each other's backs and we just work together really well compared to some years, and just being able to get to where we want to be.
I'm asking you a lot of questions. I'm asking them of one of the team captains, one of the team leaders, Sydney Sekely. Now I'm just going to ask you. This is for the pitcher, the hitter, Sydney Sekely. How do you think your season has gone to this point?
I feel like I've done pretty good, just doing the best I can to help my team, knowing they're behind me and just focusing on myself as much as I can.
When did you start playing softball?
When I was like 6 years old.
Okay. So you've been playing for 10, 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any major injuries that you've had to overcome?
I did break one of the bones in my foot right before last year's season, but I was in a boot, through February, but I was able to get out of that and be ready for the season.
Did it during the season? Were you aware of it, or were you completely over it by the time you guys got deep into the season?
I would say it definitely would hurt, but like it was nothing to stop me. I was just looking ahead, looking for my team and ready to play.
No, but you weren't at 100%.
No, it was technically healed, but every injury.
Right. But that's over and done with. Nothing, you're not still feeling after effects or anything.
Nope.
Okay. Did you play any other sports when you were young? I probably asked you that before and forgot what the answer.
Yeah, when I was younger, I did like every other kid, probably most of those sports: soccer, basketball, gymnastics, and then volleyball through high school.
Why did softball stick?
I just always found a love for it, just like working with my dad and just all the teams I've had, and just I fell in love with it ever since I was young.
Now, it's pitching in softball is not like pitching in baseball where you got to sort of, you still don't want to overdo it, with your workload. But at this point of the season, how do you prepare, like whether it be in practice or whatever the case may be, how do you prepare to pitch without overtaxing your arm?
Just thinking of what I did last game and how if I had any like mistakes there and how I can fix that, and just knowing like mentally in my mechanics, knowing I can get it done.
Yeah, so it's more of a mental exercise at this point than a physical exercise.
Yes.
Because physically, you've been pretty darn impressive. Let's take a look at the week you had. 3 victories for the Eagles. You take care of business against, again, a pretty good Keystone Oaks team. You shut them out on the road, 8-0. We'll start with the at-bats, 3 for 4 with an RBI double. Let's just go over your offense. Against Steel Valley, 2 for 4 with a double. And against McGuffey, 2 for 3, maybe 1 for 3. One was a judgment call. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt and call it a hit. 2 for 3 in that game as well. How have you been pleased with the way you have attacked offensively, and are you feeling more and more comfortable as the season progresses at the plate?
Definitely. This year, just getting into a new mindset of like waiting for my pitch, finding my pitch, attacking the ball, not trying to let the pitcher get ahead on me, and then just working slowly on my mechanics, game by game, fixing little things. Definitely just improving myself as a whole.
Does what you see from the circle when you're pitching, does that help you at all when you're in the batter's box facing, some top pitchers?
Definitely, because just knowing as a pitcher myself, trying to work ahead in the against the batter.
Yeah.
So then when I'm in the box, just knowing like a pitcher is going to come to you, you want to get ahead on them, not let them get on you.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Here's what you did in the circle in the 3 victories. 3-hitter against Keystone Oaks in the shutout victory, only 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. No-hitter of the Ironman, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. And against the Highlanders, again, close game, a 1-0 victory over the team that was only a game behind you going into that contest. 4 hits allowed, no walks, 12 strikeouts. Let's talk about the walks, first of all. Great command, 3 walks in 3 games. Is that something that you have continued to get better at as your high school career has blossomed?
Definitely. As I've grown, I've just become better at working ahead in the count, letting my catcher, set it up, work less balls, more strikes, try to get ahead.
The walks that you do allow, are those a lot of times to a hitter that is pretty darn good and you just don't want to give in to them, so you do a little nibbling here and there?
I would definitely say yeah, because I would rather try to get them to chase or work against them, and then it just leads to a walk, which is no hurt.
35 strikeouts in your 3 games this past week. You've had to put up mind-boggling numbers throughout your career as far as that is concerned. Do you ever have a target number in mind, or are you ever keeping track of punch outs while you're pitching, while the game's going on?
I don't during the game, but then after, I like to hear those numbers and just I during the game try my best to get those numbers as high as I can.
That's right. Well, it puts a little more pep in your step as you're walking from the field to the car when you get a
Mhm.
chance to hear those numbers, because they're usually extremely impressive. What is we talked about you're winding down your high school career, and you have made your decision. You'll be going to Gannon University up north in the Erie area. What sort of finalized your decision there?
Just going to those camps and games and seeing how much fun that team has, and just knowing that I can do my best to try and help them as much as I can, and just knowing that this next chapter is going to be as much fun as it can be.
About 2 hours,
Hmm.
Erie from Pittsburgh. Did that play a part? I mean, when the whole recruiting process began, did you kind of want to stay close to home, or give your family members a chance to come see you, or you know, if it was, is that something you really didn't even consider?
It came a little bit into factor. Definitely wanted to stay close enough where family could come, but I just wanted to find the right school for me.
Hmm.
Didn't really as much matter the distance.
Okay. Was it as much the softball team or the school in general?
Definitely both. Just seeing the school and just loving the environment, but then knowing the team and how much they love it themselves really encouraged me to go there.
Now, Sydney, I've never been to Gannon University. Probably a beautiful campus, and it's a great area up north in northwestern Pennsylvania. Usually between April and October. Now there is a time where you will be in school when it is called this thing happens. It's called winter.
Hmm.
Now, have you ever been up there during the winter?
Yes, I did tour. Like when I officially toured it, there was so much snow. But I definitely like winter, so that wasn't as much of a problem for me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, if you don't have to do a whole lot of travel, because I mean, we get
Hmm.
all that lake effect snow.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy, it's hard. I mean, we get tired of what we get here, and it just
Hmm.
pales in comparison to what they get. But if it's something that you don't mind, then that's fine. What do you know what you want to study up at Gannon?
I'm definitely leaning toward a business major, probably accounting, but I'm not fully sure yet.
Have you always liked math?
Yeah, definitely.
And you've always done well, I assume.
Hmm.
Can you describe or tell me about the Pythagorean theorem?
That might be a rough one.
You know what? You could pretty much say anything you wanted, and I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, all right." Maybe. Yeah, they lost me in algebra in high school, and I'm not sure how I passed geometry and algebra 2. I have no idea, because algebra 1 I was freaking swimming around in my head. But good for you, good for you, good for you. All right. Do you like these guys?
I don't watch them a lot, but I do
You
know
know
of them.
they're in the playoffs. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, didn't work out so well in game 1.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in game 2. What's your favorite sport to watch?
I would say probably baseball.
Okay. Did you play baseball when you were real young?
No.
No. Did you ever want to?
No.
Okay. So South Park has a pretty good baseball team.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
Have we ever had, like, if you and Cooper Hawkindonor ever decided to have some sort of challenge where you could see if you could strike him out?
No.
No?
No.
Do you think you could?
I don't know. He's a pretty good hitter too, so
He's
not
a pretty
sure.
good hitter, but I mean, you face pretty good hitters all the time, and they sit down after 3 pitches.
True.
Yeah. Just a little food for thought. You guys are both, they should have one big celebration for both, maybe before the playoffs, before the baseball or for the baseball team and the softball team. You guys share the same facility,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And just have one, that could be the you have a little picnic or whatever, and somebody grabs the mic and says, "Yay, baseball, yay, softball, good luck to you." And then we have the big showdown, and everybody's, all excited. I don't know. I think it's pay-per-view, to be honest with you. But you're confident. I'm not saying you would strike him out, but you're confident you could.
Probably.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Do you like? I think I asked you this last year because it's a wonderful facility. But do you prefer pitching on dirt or turf?
I like turf better.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is that?
For me, like I hate when a dirt field gets a giant hole in it. So
Yeah.
I just like how turf is just always the same.
Okay. Yeah, I think you told me that last year too.
Probably.
But if let's just say it's a well-groomed field, a dirt field. Does that you still would rather have turf?
Probably. I just like the whole field is turf. But if it's a well-kept dirt mounded, that's not a problem for me.
All right. What if you line one into the right center field gap, and you're flying, right? You got great speed, right? So you're flying around second, going for third. You know it's going to be close, so you got to hit the deck. Would you rather slide on turf or dirt?
Turf.
Oh yeah. Although you got to be careful not to overslide, right?
True.
Yeah. So you got to hook. You got to reach out. If you're doing the old hook slide, that was my favorite. Then you got to make sure you grab as you go by.
Yeah.
Do you now, if on a play like that, do you go head first or?
I think it would depend what base I'm going into. Like if the ball's coming from behind me, I'd probably just slide.
Okay, but you have gone head first before.
Yeah.
I have never slid head first back when I was playing. I mean, painful?
Not really. I mean, if you do it right, not really.
But there's a chance you could flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be painful.
Definitely.
All right, Sydney. Third time's a charm. You did marvelous here. Not that the other two were shoddy, but a wonderful performance, like most of your performances in the circle. Congratulations on the big week.
Thank you.
The season thus far. Still a lot of work to be done. And maybe third time's a charm as far as the championship is concerned as well. Mohawk's still a player. So, I mean, do we get the Warriors, Eagles take 3? We'll find out the end of May or early June. Appreciate it. Stay healthy and continued success, my friend.
Thank you.
Sydney Sekely, senior from South Park, one of the dominant pitchers in the WPIAL, dominant players. She's also hitting the heck out of the softball. Kind enough to join us. We thank her. We also thank our friends at Edgar Snyder and Associates. Thanks to Chris Lackner, our producer. I'm Don Rebel. Thank you for joining us. Rebel Yell podcast heading down the stretch run of the 2026 season here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.